So I've had a challenge with, I've got a new computer and there were some glitches I had to deal with Apple. So I want to talk about, fake gurus. It's irritating, and I'm not saying these guys are complete fakes or frauds or anything like that. I think they're both interesting, smart guys, and they do a good job at what they do, but I don't really consider it investing. I've been an investor for over 30 years. You guys, most of you have my book, I think. And hey, if you're just getting here, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel. Channel's been growing really fast. Book sales have been quite good too. And a lot of you expressed interest in mentoring, and I've been in touch with a lot of you by email, and I am working on that now. I decided I'm going to go ahead and kind of make my legacy helping you guys get wealthy. Now, primarily, I got a male audience, at least according to what I've seen. And so it is what it is. I've been, when I was first got going, when I first started, I started a cabinet shop, and all I wanted to do was have a successful business. And that led to me getting into a piece of real estate, and you guys know the rest, from the book. If you have the book, you know the rest. But let's talk about these guys. Has anybody ever seen a profit out of either one of these guys? Because I've got a lot of Meet Kevin and a lot of Stephan Graham, or Graham Stephan. I mix his name up. It's like two last names or two first names. The women are welcome. The women are welcome. I mean, it is what it is. I can tell you there's a fortune in real estate for anybody. It doesn't matter. But has anybody ever seen a profit realized? Because to me, if you're going to point to, I have this much equity and that's a profit. No, that's not a profit. That's not a profit. That you're speculating that you got a profit, and that can be wiped out in a second, when you go to sell. I'm talking about profits, Raphael. I'm talking about realizing the profit, having cash that you can spend. I don't consider a paper profit a profit. I mean, I can tell you that, I've got a $50,000 profit, but when I go to sell it, I lose money. It means nothing. It means nothing. I think you need, and that's kind of what fake gurus do. They never want to point to anything real. They always talk about, what can be and what, but in other words, they come up short on the deals. They come up short on showing the real money, and that's what you want. You want to see money. You want to see money made. There's another real estate guy, he claims to have sold 1,300 properties, but I only hear him talking about the $65,000 that he made on one deal. And, it's like, it doesn't jive, I mean, if you get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, this is $10 investment, or $20 if you buy a paperback. You'll see real deals, on properties that I bought, sold, made, a lot of these go back to the very beginning when I was, my 20s. Making 10,000, 20,000, 300,000. That was like a huge home run to me when I was young. And hey, tell me again, you guys hear me fine? I'm assuming you do. This is not the orientation I'd want for this camera, but it is what it is. Like I said, that's actually, Kevin, Meet Kevin. You know what, Meet Kevin? I'll tell you what. When I see guys, all they're doing is pointing to stimulus, reporting stimulus check. I mean, that's somebody that's not specializing in real estate. Graham too. They chase they're just chasing clicks. They're chasing, the YouTube money. And if you notice, I don't even have. I'll tell you what. I have the most minimal advertising on my channel. I don't care about making money on commercials on my video channel. I really don't. And I could do it. I can have, make you watch a video and that sort of thing. And I did for just a short while. I had no advertising on my channel at all. And I felt like maybe YouTube was like not throwing me in the right algorithm. But once I started advertising, even a little bit, it seemed like things picked up on my channel. People say it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you, it feels like it does. So what I do is you have an option when you go to have advertisements on your channel. You can have, force them to watch a video. And I have all these fake gurus advertising on my channel, which is really funny. And I can tell you right now, I don't know anybody that's advertising on my channel right now that I'd recommend you watch, to be honest. So that's how much I care about advertising revenue. But anyways, let's get back to it. Has anybody seen a profit? Has anybody seen a profit? Just hold up a second. If somebody knows of them making a cash profit, bought, resold, and made a profit, please post it now, okay? Oh yeah, listen, Kevin's probably made, $100,000 on stimulus check revenue, but again, from ads. But again, anybody seen a profit at all out of either one of these guys? Because both of these guys have professed expertise in showing it. And Kevin's got a course. And you know what? I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. If you haven't realized a profit, you shouldn't be teaching people how to invest in real estate. Now, not to say that he's not a fine realtor and that he couldn't find you a home to buy and, and the things that real estate agents do. I had a real estate agent. I remember a young guy coming to me and he said, man, if only I had 400 grand, then I could really make some money, and he was an agent, and a lot of agents do struggle, to be quite honest. And I said, well, what experience do you have investing 400,000? Because that's what he said, that's all he needed to make things happen. And he just kind of goes, none. He had no experience. And that's, you can tell, it's like a deer in the headlights. Like, he didn't expect that. And, I can tell you, if you've, and I have people, believe me, I have so many emails from people writing me, told me they're $60,000 out of pocket after pouring it into some stupid seminar. Somebody in there just filled them full of hype and said, hey, we'll back you, you find the deal, we'll give you the money. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. You go into a seminar and you tell them you got about 30 grand, they're going to try to take it from you. I guarantee you. They don't care about you making money. They're there to make money. And so listen, if you're going into one of those seminars, I've heard some terrible things about Fan Merrill seminars. I was going to try to go to one myself, but I didn't get a chance to. I heard that they forbid cameras and all this other stuff, and it isn't because they got such great stuff, great information from what I've gathered. But I think what it is that they're concerned about the sales pitch being recorded. But the sales pitch that's been described has been basically, hey, welcome to the free seminar. How many people are serious about making money? And, and how many got 10,000? How many got 20,000? How many got 30,000? And then they separate you and then they hard sell you into courses that cost as much as you have available to spend. Oh, you went to a Chris Crone seminar. Okay, well, that's interesting to me. Has anybody seen Chris Crone make him a dollar? I haven't seen many profits. I seen him refer to some things, but in the most vaguest way, that it caused me some concern. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, even I have seen some guys that I thought, hey, this guy might be all right. And then as I start to look deeper, I realize, hey, they're not coming up with anything, no substance. And you guys know, I've talked about it before. The greatest crime in the world to me is taking away somebody's, the person's most important years of building their wealth and building their income. And people are gullible. I don't trust anybody. I'm skeptical of everybody, and I tell anybody that listens to me, that gets mentored by me, reads my book, get my book, don't trust anybody. You need to be skeptical. And just when you look at somebody, especially somebody that stands to make money from you, you got to look to them. Listen, I go to jiu-jitsu, I take training and different things where I'm weak to get stronger at things I need to know. And I have the greatest regard for mentors that are talented. Hey, also hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to this, I've got many, many subscribers that are in real estate that had followed Meet Kevin and also Graham Stephan, and they like him for other reasons than making money in real estate. They like him, I don't know, they like him for whatever they do besides that. Report the news. But I'm a blue belt. I've been in 3 years. I put my boys in there, twin boys, and then anyways, I got into it. I like it. It's the best exercise I've ever had. And I'm dying to start rolling again. Hopefully it's safe soon. Oh no, Edgar. Okay, we got Edgar here. He says he bought both of their crap courses. Well, that's good to know. Again, like I said, so how much did you throw away, Edgar? What'd you spend on that? What did Kevin's course cost, and what did Graham's course or whatever he sold you, what did that cost? If you remember. Anyways, listen, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, look, I started dirt, $600, damn, sorry. I started $300 each, I got you. So again, look, I got a $20 book or a $10 book on Kindle. Most people buy both. Listen, this is worth more than I'm sure both of those courses, and you'll make, believe me, you'll make a lot of money. You do what I tell you to do in this book, it'll change your life, okay? And I mean that in the best of intentions and ways. And you know, I'm available. You see, I'm here. I don't hide from the facts. I can talk about real estate. And if I don't know something, I'll just tell you I don't know. Because what I do know is I know how to make money in real estate. I've been doing it a long time, and I've got a record to reflect on. Most people don't. I don't even know if Kevin Crone does. I'm starting to worry about what this guy says too, to be honest. I've only heard him talk about a $65,000 deal he made on something, but I've heard him talk in the Vegas terms about 1,000 deals, and I'm like, you know what? All the videos I've seen, and he's even talking about stimulus too, stimulus checks. And maybe the carrot is get people with a stimulus check because you know they got $1,200 and you can tell them buy my course. I don't know. Maybe I should do a stimulus one to get them in there. Do I? Okay, Hessler, incorporating, if you're a new investor, you don't need to incorporate, it's silly. Listen, I have probably 15 different partnerships, and they're me, myself, and I, okay, and my kids. You know, there's reasons for that, but, and it's not to have partners, it's not to take in partners, exactly. But for instance, my kids that are under 18, and one time they were all under 18, and they own millions of dollars of real estate with me. They can't, a minor can't hold real estate, but a minor can hold an interest in a limited partnership, and a limited partnership can own real estate. That was the way I needed that vehicle for my kids. They couldn't own it any other way. Like if I have a heart attack today, I croak, you know, then there's a trustee that takes over and holds the property and takes care of them, or watches the property. So no, you don't need, listen, if you think you need a corporation, or you don't need a corporation, period. You need a partnership when you start to own a lot. You don't need it right now. The reason is as you have more and more partnerships, you don't want to really hold more than maybe, I don't know, $2 million or whatever the asset's worth. In other words, I used to have a limit. I wouldn't hold more than $1 million in real estate in any one partnership. And the reason is you've got partnership, okay? And these can each own $1 million or $2, $3, or $4 million a piece. Doesn't really matter. But it does to a degree. In other words, if I have one asset worth $2 million, I'll let it be in its own partnership. If I have maybe 3 houses that all 3 together are only worth about $1.2 million or something, I'll keep those in one partnership. But I'm not going to do a partnership just for one $300,000 deal. And you know, I wouldn't separate them like that. They cost money to maintain. They cost money to create, by the way, too. But the reason for that is when you have when you create a set of books to own your property, maybe you and your kids are limited partners, and then there's a general partner. Like either I'll be the general partner, or I'll have another entity that's the general partner, and I'm in charge of that partnership. And the reason you do that is you don't want to hold everything in your name, and you don't want to hold everything in one partnership, because if something happens, I'll give you an example. A friend of mine owned probably $3 or $4 million property, and he had a kid that was seen running around 10 o'clock at night, riding a tricycle or bicycle, I don't know the full deal, but a little kid running around. Parents really weren't watching this kid at all. And this kid ends up in the swimming pool, face down. They grabbed him, they resuscitated him. He lived, but he's not going to have a quality life. And so my buddy he had $2 million worth of insurance, and the fact that this kid drowned, people are suing. He's getting sued. Well, his insurance coverage was only about $2 or $3 million, and he was being sued for $7 million. Okay, the property wasn't even worth that. So that's the reason. One of the reasons, if you have $10 million worth of property and somebody gets hurt or damaged in some way in one of your properties, and now they're suing you, now you have all those assets at stake. Pretty scary stuff. So you want to limit that, but then what you do is you get plenty of insurance. In his case, he had plenty of insurance. He had about $2 or $3 million, but he was getting sued for $7 million. So he was terrified that he was going to get a personal judgment against him for another $4 million over and above his coverage. Well, the insurance company fortunately indemnified him against damages over that amount, because they thought, hey, this is ridiculous. These people didn't take care of their kid. The kids, but anyway, so they indemnified him. They went to court, and they got several $1 million over and above his insurance amount. So he was quite relieved. The insurance company picked it up. I don't know all the facts. I don't know the details exactly on who was right and wrong in that thing. I know my friend wasn't wrong, but the fact is he had insurance. This kid's going to need help for the rest of his life. And that's the thing. A jury come in there and they don't care right from wrong. Sometimes they just think this kid needs help. Take it from the insurance company or take it from the rich property owner, right? But that's what happened in that situation. So look, I want to try to stay on topic. I want to talk about fake gurus, and I want to talk about Meet Kevin and Stephan Graham, because if somebody can say anything great or positive about either one of them, I'm happy to hear it. Talk about it. I'm not here just to bash it. I'm just asking the question. Listen, it's not an unfair question. If somebody's going to take money from you and tell you they have expertise, you need to question it. You need to question it, and it's a fair question. So if you've got something good or bad to say, if you've taken their class and maybe you made some money, or got some good information, that's fair to share. If you haven't, that's fair too. Hey, please subscribe if you're just getting here. Sometimes I find out I have an hour-long video and people watch for 20 minutes. Anyways, please subscribe. We're going to talk about real estate. Wake up and smell the real estate. But we're talking about gurus, real estate gurus, credible or not. We're talking about some guys right now. So please subscribe and please hit that like button. Okay, so Risha, he says he likes Graham Stephan's tips on saving. But yeah, that's good. Yeah, I heard he's kind of pretty tight with his money. So that's good. I'm glad you get something out of it. Like I say, you can get some things from these guys. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything that would make me want to send somebody to learn about real estate from either one of these guys. How about Meet Kevin? Anything good or bad to say about Kevin regarding real estate? No, Risha, it's not to hide your assets. It's not to hide your assets. Don't think that. It's not that. All right, John, listen. Well, we're talking not so much about that. I'll circle back to some of these questions, but I want to stay on topic. Right now, the headline of this thing, the description says, Meet Kevin and Graham Stephan. Anybody seen a profit? So has anybody seen a profit at all out of these guys? And even when this video expires, go to the comments and write down, yeah, he made a profit. Here's the video. Send me the link. A lot of people said, oh, no, I know he's made profit. And I say, hey, give me the link. Give me the link. And nothing ever comes back. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Meet Kevin is a pushy car salesman. Think it's funny he charges. Oh, my God. Well, I tell you what, in fairness, $1,000 for 30 minutes of his time. I didn't know he charged that much. He's certainly real estate. I wouldn't pay him that. But he probably has some great YouTube advice, okay? He could probably tell you some things about YouTube because he's done a good job on that. I can tell you, I've owned some other companies, and you really can't necessarily tell what people are going to like. What I like doesn't mean somebody else is going to like it. But those guys are making a lot of YouTube money. That's one thing they've been pretty open in sharing. They're showing everybody how much money they make off their YouTube channels. I don't know the sense in that, but that's what they do. All right, shout me out, supercars. Okay, there you go. Yeah, well, it's okay to fail. He said somebody, Peter wrote, Kevin failed making a construction. That's okay. Listen, those guys are set for life, doing what they're doing. They're going to make enough money. They can even make bad real estate investments. Like I say, I don't even like the deals that they bought. Really, a couple of the earliest properties that Stephan bought, I think were okay. I think they were like $60,000, $70,000. I think those were okay. But this buying $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes, and believe me, I've lived in Los Angeles, I've lived in Ventura County, I know the areas fairly well. They don't pencil. They don't pencil. They're going to be a poor return on investment. Okay, meaning for the cash put out, it's not that good. I mean, if your standard is buy a property and put 25% down and then have your payment covered, well then go ahead, invest like that. But that's terrible investing. I like to make money. I like you got to, and here's the deal. That's the other thing. When you got, whatever, 50,000 or 100,000 a month coming in from YouTube revenue, and you're telling people, yeah, just go, just buy, it's easy to buy. Well, it's not that easy to buy. When you make 100 grand or 50 grand or 20 grand a year, whatever you make, that stuff's just nonsense. Whatever money you have, that's your seed capital. And that's the most important thing. And you can start from zero. Let me tell you, it's like I wrote in the description. The most important thing is you build your brain, okay? It's the most important thing. And it's the hardest thing to do. It's the most work. Is educating yourself. It's just like going to a gym. You can go out and just work out. And it's not because it's fun. You're doing it for the results. The result is muscle, a lean body, right? That's why you do it. Well, same with real estate. You take time to get educated, okay? And some people think that if you pay 10 grand, it's like they're going to download this fantastic information into your head. And a lot of people buy that and they say, okay, great, download me. And then all they do is they get a lesson in, if it's too good to be true, it's not going to happen. It's too good to be true. So hey, please like and subscribe. I got to push that. Please subscribe. I promise you'll learn a lot from me. I've been doing this a long time. Today we're just kind of getting narrowly focused here. I really want to pick up some of those subscribers that are following Graham and Kevin, because I already have a bunch. And I think they have a lot of people that follow them, but I don't think they're the best and brightest people that are following them. No offense. But there are people that are bright, that are interested in making money in real estate, and those are the ones I want. If you're interested in, whatever, unboxing a Rolex watch, then this is the wrong channel. Okay, it ain't gonna happen here. But if you're interested in making money in real estate, then I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to listen and happy to have you here. Okay. The thing is, John, they are wasting their best experience years being YouTubers. Well, yeah, I mean, those guys are not, I don't think either one of these guys are wasting their time being YouTubers. They're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money doing YouTube, and that's fine, and that's great for them. What I don't like is extrapolating the money that they make from YouTube as to qualify them to teach real estate. Because to me, that's the worst thing. If you get people that are gullible and they believe you, and they spend $1,000 on courses or $600 like Perez did, that's just a shame, because you're taking somebody you're taking somebody's money that's trusting that you know what you're doing, and you don't. And I'm telling you right now, don't trust anybody. You got to take responsibility, for your problems. And I'm not saying you don't. I think it's Perez, but the bottom line is, buyer beware. These things, those slogans stand the test of time. It's because it never gets old. That people have been getting ripped off, misled forever. And, you got to look out for yourself. All right, so many millennials in LA get got by these young, inexperienced investors. They see some of the, listen, look, I don't even like watching football. I don't like watching millionaires play sports. I just don't. And although you make the argument I watch millionaires act if I go see a movie. But again, that's entertainment. Too much entertainment, you're robbing yourself, because you should be out making money. You know, you get older and you got money, then you can do what you want to do. And this is what I want to do. I just want to share. I'd like to see these young people, or old people. I don't care. Anybody that's late to the game. I was lucky. I got an early table at the game. I learned about real estate when I was 19. I got the best lesson in the world about being able to buy property even though I had no credit, and realizing profit very young, and realizing, hey, it's not what I thought it was. And that's what I want to share with you guys. I don't know much about Dave Ramsey. I hear some very generic, like Susie Ormond. I've never been impressed with her, to be quite honest. If you want to be told how to save your money, how not to waste money, sure, there's a lot of people, it's just common sense, and I tell you, keep your overhead low. You don't need to look like $1 million when you're not worth 10,000, okay? You need to look like $1 million when you really have $1 million, okay? Otherwise, I used to relate it to the shoe salesman. The shoe salesman is better dressed than I am, okay? He looks like $1 million, but he probably doesn't have $1 million, unless he just really likes to sell shoes, and that's what he wants to do. All right, Mark's going to take a $10 risk and buy my book. Yes, I agree with you, Mark. Yeah, welcome to the club. You're in the VIP club. You get that? You'll see, email me, and you'll be in the little VIP club. You saw a few videos from Kevin. What to look for to make an offer on a duplex. Saw Kevin's video on how to negotiate after the initial offer, which saved me $30K on the deal. Okay, so you're saying, Kevin, what did he tell you? Make an offer for less than they're asking? How'd you save 30 grand? I'd be curious to know that. Is it just simply you made an offer for less than they were asking? Okay. Strawberries and Candy just asked, how much money should you put down on a property to make sure you're not over leveraged? That's the wrong way to look at it. Listen, you can buy a property, you can put nothing down or almost nothing down, and you might have 50% equity when it closed because you bought it under market. That's the thing. Listen, this is the problem with people in the USA in general, is they're not how much, they're how much a month. And that's what guys like me are going to love the most. If when we go to sell a property, we know that people are going, they don't care how much they spend. They care how much their payment is. People are payment oriented. You got to lose that. If you think like I do, you think about, how much am I paying? How much am I paying? Not how much am I paying a month. I mean, you can take that in consideration if you have rents coming in, you want to make a profit, but you want to buy it for less than it's worth. I want to know how much I'm making or how much I can make the day I buy it. And people say, oh, gee, it's scary. No, it's not scary. When you're smart, when you get trained a little, you will go to buy a property and there will be no question in your mind that you want that property because you know value. If you know value, you're going to be scared that it's going to slip between your fingers and you're not going to get it. And that is going to happen sometimes. I've had millions slip between my fingers, but I've had tens of millions not slip between my fingers that I held on to and I profited on. So that's the number one thing. Yeah, Rishi, I can't tell you about, well, it's funny, you talk about, I used to own several laundromats, okay? I had apartment buildings. And so I figured I was making about $25 per month per tenant. And I would go to into the laundry room once a week, and I'd come back with, maybe 100 pounds sometimes in quarters. Quarters weigh $22.50 a pound. When you're really taking in the money on a laundromat, you got to know that because you ain't going to count quarters. You can pour, and even the bank doesn't even want to see it. They don't want you to have those things pour through the machine. It takes too long, makes a ton of noise. But so what happens is You get your canvas bag full of quarters, you tie it, you weigh it. If it weighs 10 pounds, you know you got $225. But that's how you do it. And then you take it to the bank and you tag it, $225,000 deposit. They take it in, and then they count it, and at midnight they have people running them through machines, the late shift, and then those guys, oh, no, you don't have 225, you have 224, and you get a deposit, and they just correct the deposit. That's all. It's like depositing in if you ever do a nighttime deposit, you throw your money in through the slot. They don't just take your word for it. They look at the check and they count it in. All right, Jeff Thomas, read your book, bought first property, 89,000, gonna put 20K in it. Area's about 140. Oh man, thanks, Jeff. Hey, we'll have you on the show. You know, I've got a lot of people now that have made money. You know, I've been doing this for 3 years with the YouTube videos. I just, only until I started advertising, or I started letting people advertise my channel, did my show really take off, and now I'm getting some growth. Hey, and if you just got here, please subscribe. You're in the Make Money Club, I promise you. This is the place to be. I'm gonna show you how I've done it. And hit the like button. Please hit the like button. All right, so there we go. Jeff, thanks, I appreciate it. Anybody else make money? I had somebody send me a picture the other day of a check for $39,000, and they said, hey, Tom, I made this money because of you. And it wasn't 39, the check was 39. But what he said, he goes, man, after watching your video and getting your book, he goes, I wouldn't have done this normally. He goes, and I did what you told me to do in the book. And he goes, and I made 25 grand. He said he put, this is close. He said he paid $16,000 for a trailer and he resold it, I think, for $42,000. And he said he realized a $25,000 profit. And he sent me a picture of the check. So we're going to have him on. He said he'd be on the show too. So that'll be fun. Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, testimonials, right? Where's the testimonials for these guys? I mean, Chris Crone. We got to do this on Chris Crone. Chris Crone, I mean, when I hear it, he talks like he's made 1,300 deals. If you made 1,300 deals, I mean, let's have 10 or maybe 100 or, you know, even 10 people talking about how great you are and how much money they made, because you should have that. I have that, and I'm going to have that on the show eventually, but I have that, and I mean, I would show it. I would show it if I was selling courses, which pretty soon I'm going to start doing a little mentorship. By the way, folks, this is a course in itself. This is worth tens of thousands of dollars if you apply it. That I know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Oliver, it don't matter. It don't matter. There's, you know, listen, quality, right? We got a quality group here. We really do. We really have, I say I got the smartest subscribers of any channel that I've seen. Like I say, some people will go in and they just want to be entertained. They want to see somebody run around circles and throw their arms in the air, whatever. I want to make money. Hey, Anne-Marie, glad you're here. Great. Let's see. All right. I don't think anybody has what we were hoping for. Oh. No, okay, listen. Get my book, Insanely Clutch, okay? If you know my book, you'll know, I would never buy a $700,000, $800,000 home to rent. It's a waste of money. You ain't going to make any money on that. Now, I would buy a $700,000, $800,000 home if it was worth $1 million and I just flip it. And that's what you should do. If you can buy under market, you know, just go study the market, and believe me, when you see it and it's it's worth $700,000 and you can get it for $500 or $400, you buy it, and then you sell it immediately and you realize that cash. You get that money. That's how you do it. You know, it's too easy. This is to me what a fake guru would do, is say, yeah, look, just get in there and buy it and hang on to it. Well, who can't do that? Okay? Anybody, your parents can tell you to do that. It's silly. Oh, dude, I made most of my money in California. My first $1 million was made in California. Anywhere, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Somebody commented, they commented actually on my book unfairly, but they said, and I know it was a skunk, one of these skunk gurus, I think, bashed my book. But it doesn't matter. Everybody knows. Everybody knows there's no fluff in here. He referred to as fluff. There's no fluff. I can't write fluff. I can't even talk it. I get straight to the point. It's just the only way I can write. I don't know. I'm not a writer. Oh, nice, Alex. That's a nice profit, man. Over 150 grand. That's great. Anywhere. You can make money anywhere. You can make, listen, I've been to Compton. Like I said, I've made money in Ventura County, LA County, where both Kevin and Stephen Graham are. I've been to Compton back in the 80s. I'm telling you, scary, okay? The bars on the businesses, all the businesses are locked and barred and buzzers at the door, and people are looking at you through the window and pretending they don't see it. They don't even want to answer the door. You know, I don't know how it's today. I don't think it's much better, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I don't want to buy in those areas personally, never. But there's money to be made in those areas. If you live there, if your mom lives there, your family lives there, guess what? That's home. That's home for a lot of people. So if that's where you're going to make your home, then buy it right. Buy it under market. You know, I went to an auction, a tax auction there like 35 years ago. And, you know, I was a young guy. I was like, walked in, went back to the truck, grabbed the pistol. It was a little scary. Walked through, went to the tax sale. I would have maybe paid $25,000. It sold for $75,000. So it was definitely worth money. Okay, here we got Kevin. You've been critical for me for holding deals. I don't sell because I don't want to pay 50% in short term. Why would you pay 50%? Kevin, why would you pay 50%? Your capital gains should only be, your long-term capital gains under Obama, I think, make it what would it be? 34%? But you're getting hit with California tax, right, Kevin? What are you getting hit for taxes in California now, Kevin? Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, but I agree. So Kevin, the thing I don't like about, what I don't like about is the return on your investment on homes that are over $300,000. You know, your cap rate goes down quite severely, over $300,000. And I used to have a home right on Ocean Drive across from the Whale's Tail, but one off the beach on Ocean Drive. And with those kind of rentals, you can get more, especially now with Airbnb, you can get a lot more. If you rent it and hold a few years, you can lower your taxes 20%. Okay, but see, you're in a little bit different market class, right? I mean, you're knocking down from your YouTube videos $500,000 to $1 million, right, a year, which is awesome. Believe me, I applaud both you and Stephan for that. Yeah, I do appreciate you coming in, Kevin. I really do. Yeah, so see, that's my point. So Kevin, the reason I don't like the type of investing, believe me, I think it'd be great if you were handling it for fairly wealthy YouTubers, right? But it doesn't really apply so much for somebody that's trying to, I mean, I started with nothing. I started out there in the desert in Lancaster. I guess that'd be north of you. When you're making less than $50,000 a year, you can't hardly even support your family or support yourself in California. So you have to make every dollar count. You have to flip. You have to flip to realize a profit when you have nothing, when you are tiny, when you have a small income. And to tie yourself up for 10 years paying on a mortgage, you know, a guy buys one house and now he doesn't qualify for a second when he makes $50, $60, or $100,000 a year. That's the problem I have with the type of investing that I've seen you do. Now, I think it's fine for people, believe me, for doctors, for people that have income, great. But for people that don't have great income, not so good for me. Yeah. Well, Kevin, man, I appreciate you popping in here. I really do. And I know I'm hard on you, but I do have the greatest respect for you as a YouTuber and everything else that I've seen you do. And I know you work hard and you try a lot of stuff. I do too. I did too when I was younger. Real estate's my only focus now, and I want my legacy to make as many millionaires as I can. You know, it's just, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do. someone with less. And I appreciate you coming in. I do. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you put it as common folk, right? That is the thing, is when you got nothing. You know, my parents got taken for 20 grand. You know, when this is like when they're in their 50s and getting ready to retire. And believe me, my dad was a gullible guy and a nice guy. You know, he's one of the nice guys. He's the guy that, would, take the shirt off his back to help you. You know, that's how he was. But it's not the way to be in business. It's just not the way to be in business. And when people are selling you a property or anything else, okay, you can't necessarily trust anybody that stands to make a profit from you. And let me go back here. Okay, Kevin, heads up on money background. In fairness, I bought a $305,000 house with $18,000 in savings, $20K income. Turn that into $18K into $250 net if I sold the house today. Okay, so that's when you bought quite a while ago, right? And that's fine. That's fine. I believe me, I have some investments that I've held, but I went through 5 houses before I lived in my first house. Because a lot of people always have the mentality, when you're brand new to real estate, you get in the mentality of buy a duplex, live in one side. And I say you got to live somewhere, and you can make a decision on where you want to live. But the first 5 houses that I bought, I didn't live in any of them. Maybe the 5th or 6th one, it's been a long time now. But I lived in that one, and that was a 3,000 square foot home, enormous diamond-shaped lot. I actually rented the whole lower half of the property to my one roommate. And this is back when interest rates were, I got a 9 1/8% loan, 9 1/8. That was a great deal. It was 9 1/4. I opened up a bank account and I got the break to 9 1/8. That was buying a $145,000 home. I mean, today it's probably $600,000-700,000, or it could be more. But that was in California, by the way. But I had to live somewhere. That was the 5th house, though, my 5th house, okay? And, it probably cost me $500 a month, which, I was already, by that time I was probably 25, and I was already well on my way, really making a lot of money. And it just kept growing from there. But, so I just say you don't have to live in it. What the main thing is, if you want to buy it and hold it a long time, sure. Buy something if that's the rate. If you really are knocking down a great income and you don't want to jeopardize your income from your job because you just don't have time to go, like I have doctors, dedicated, hardworking guys. I mean, they are money-making machines. And they'll go drop $2 million on a car lot. And now they're getting, $25,000 a month on that car lot. Which even Kevin, I could help you, Kevin, by the way. I know you got your way of investing, but I've got quite a few YouTube millionaires now. I've contacted me, and I'm working with them, and I've been helping them. But there's a whole new level. There's a whole new level. Profit ratio wouldn't inflate. Well, hey, let's see. Yeah, well, look, Kevin, I appreciate you coming here. Look, I give credit to Kevin for coming on the show. And hey, maybe Graham's out there, right? But no, I do. I appreciate you coming on. Again, I'm extremely defensive and protective of the little guy that doesn't have money, because that money is a tool. That's your seed capital. And I was thinking about this the other day. I remember when $5, people write me and they'll say, hey, Tom, I got 10 grand, or I'm 17 and I got 5 grand, or, I got 30 grand and I'm 20, or 50 grand and I'm 50, or whatever. And I always say, hey, that's a nice chunk of money. Even if it's $500, even if it's $5, it doesn't matter. Relative to your income or to what you have, $5. I remember keeping $5 in a little metal Sucrets box, and I was going out and I'd buy a box of candy and I'd resell it for twice, and then I'd have $8 and $10 and $15, and probably that's why I got into the habit of thinking I got to make 30 to 50% on everything I touch, including real estate. It made me set a standard high that most people laugh at and think is impossible, but it's not impossible. It just takes patience. Patience and math. That's all you got to have. Patience and math. Yeah. Listen, there are no bad properties. Okay, there's just bad deals. Okay, just remember that. There's no bad properties. There's just bad deals. You're buying it relative to what it's worth. For what it's worth. You could be in Compton, and like I say, that place is sold for $75,000. I don't know if it was a good deal or not, but it was 3 times what I was willing to pay for it. So obviously it has value to someone, and that's what's important. Hey, thanks, Sammy. I appreciate that. All right, good, Alex. Alex, I thought you were. I got a lot of Alexes that got the book. Oh, there you are, Edgar. Great. Right. Well, I'm glad so many people got the book. I appreciate that. Yeah, and you got to watch the real estate prices right now. I'm telling you guys right now, hold back, okay? Hold back on buying anything right now. I mean, keep an eye, get your education, watch the market. I say study the properties in the areas that you're, study them, watch them. What's happened lately is, and believe me, I've got 3 houses in escrow I'm selling right now, and I'm crossing my fingers on every one of them. And the appraisal just came back on one of them today. This is one that I'm selling for $231,000, and the appraisal came at $250,000. I am so happy. Believe me, I know I was selling under market, and I'm still making money. And I bought these properties 6 months ago, and I'm still making money on every one of them. But I'm able to sell them for under market because I'm selling them, I'm doing my leapfrog thing, right? I'm selling them for what I think it's going to be worth in 2 months. I'm getting rid of it because I don't want somebody else to have the lights turn on and go, oh crap, the market's dropping, and start competing with me. So I'm jumping ahead a month in time and selling it for less. And sometimes, you know what? You don't want to throw good money after bad. So you dump it. Even if you lose money, you dump it because you don't want to get stuck, especially if you are, this is your seed capital, okay? For me, this is just, I just don't want to be pestered with it. I don't want to, it's just not what I do. And also, I'm looking at bigger properties, like, $3, $4, $5 million properties that I can buy, that I see potential coming on. And that's what I'm really looking at. Let's see, I got to get ahead here. All right, okay, let's see. Oh, now, come on, Edgar. Let's see. Anyways, that's the thing I just say. What are you saying? You don't have to sell. You can short or REIT with a similar company. Yeah, listen, I just keep it simple. In the beginning, all you need to worry about is making money. You don't need to go open a corporation. You don't need an LLC. Those things happen later when you start to become a high net worth individual and you're protecting your assets. And that's a different story. And believe me, I've been in horrible lawsuits. I've been in a lawsuit where I was willing to give the guy $225,000 just to go away, get the hell out of my hair. Spent $754,000 I spent on one lawsuit. Now, I had 2 partners with me on that were in the lawsuit. They weren't my partners on the property, but we got tied into this thing, and it was a mess. Don't ever be a board member. Don't ever sit on a board, okay? Never sit, especially you, Kevin. Don't ever sit on a board. You don't want to be a board member. Because believe me, the guy with the money, he is the target. Be careful. People think it's an honor, but it's just a terrible liability. Yeah, Alex, get the book. Just get the book and read the book. I can tell you right now, because I've been very helpful to a lot of people in the last several years, but now since things have been blowing up, I get so many emails now, and to be honest, I get a lot of terrible questions that I just say, it's in the book. You haven't read the book. Read the book and you won't even ask me that question. You really want to be careful. But you don't, it's just, it's terrible because I go through 50 emails and then I come to one and the guy's like, man, time is of the essence, Tom, I need your help. And, the thing's 10 days old. Maybe he's lost the deal now. So I would rather have just more quality questions. And, I had to block a 14-year-old on my Instagram recently because he was asking me so many questions. Anyways, yeah. Well, it's not just that they suck. It's that you can get stuck. You'll be in a lawsuit like you can't believe. And, even though I had done nothing wrong, this was a 3-year lawsuit. You got young kids, Kevin. I had twin boys, 4 years old, and I'm bouncing them on my knee and I'm looking right through them like I can't see them because I'm being sued for millions. It's taken all my time. There's 2 other partners that are in this thing that they're pulling their hair out. They're, I'll tell you what, you want to get in a horrible lawsuit and you got 5 lawyers. I had 5 lawyers. And each month, the monthly letters come in, the bills come in, and you're looking at 40 hours, $17,000 from just one. It's terrifying. It's not fun at all. Anyways, but I prevailed because I run a tight ship. I don't do things wrong. I keep everything clean. But again, even though I'd done nothing wrong, I was willing to give that guy $250,000 just to go away. It was like nuisance abatement. Yeah, John, that's good. Yeah, believe me, people do have cash. There's people. I kick myself because I've got 8 houses for sale right now, and it's only the ones that I bought most recently that are selling, that are under 300,000 or right at 300,000. The ones that I've got that are, $500,000. I thought I'd get 600,000. So I've got 4 up right now between. I'm kind of monopolizing the market in that area, or at least I think I am. I may be wrong, but I thought I could have got 600,000 a piece for these. Now I'm sitting here looking at 500,000 a piece. I put one down to 449 just to see if I could get some traction. And these all are different agents have these, and they're in different entities that I own. But I'm hoping to see some offers here pretty soon. Otherwise, I don't want to leapfrog too much. Because some of these are beautiful homes. These are the half acres, the ones that I just put the fences around. If you haven't been following me, you'll see they're pretty properties. Now you're selling, but yeah, well, Gabriel, there's people that have money. There's people that have money. In the middle of that COVID thing on the first of the month, if you look at that video I did, I was anticipating, people calling me saying, hey man, I can't make my payment. And some of that did happen. I'm talking about my renters. And I keep about 130,000 in square feet of rentals. And the first call I got, I thought, oh man, I didn't think they'd have a problem. I knew that, And so I picked up and said, hey, what's up? I thought they're going to tell me they're having trouble. And she says, oh, Tom, I'm thinking about paying cash for a condo. And I said, don't buy the condo, but I got a house I'll sell you. But she wants to pay cash. So look, the economy was roaring along and doing super well. Financially, the financial crisis is because of the pandemic. It's not like an organic one where the economy got good, we got a bubble, we overbuilt, and now we're feeling the effects. That's not what happened here. So I have high hopes that this recovery is going to be a fairly quick one, like maybe 18 months. That's pretty optimistic for some, and we're going to see. I've got a lot of, I've got bars, I've got restaurants, I've got gyms, I've got dance studios, I've got tenants that have been harshly affected. Now, the bailout money was a nice Band-Aid, but like I said the other day, that Band-Aid is about to wear off, okay? So when the Band-Aid wears off, you still have restaurants that are only 50% of capacity, and you're gonna have gyms. Gyms, we're going to find out. I'm hopeful for gyms because people don't understand this. The way they're setting the standard on these gyms. Hey, by the way, please subscribe. while you're here, and hit that like button, but please subscribe. You'll learn a lot about property, I promise. But so what I was talking about, my rentals right now is the Band-Aid's wearing off. You know, PPK checks came in, or the PPP checks. I've got one right here for $106,000 that I got for one of my companies. That was payroll for 2 months. And I would have laid those people off had that money not been available. So basically, it was the smartest thing the government did. They let me be the unemployment department, and that's what I did. I paid everybody 8 hours, 8 hours a day, whether we needed them or not. I let some people go home after 6. They still got paid for 8. Didn't matter. The money was sent, was borrowed. I had to borrow the money, and they're going to forgive some of it, I hope. But it was to get those people through, and that's what we did. And I thought that was the best thing the government did. What the government did that was terrible was give stimulus checks to people that did not lose their jobs. I thought that was a huge mistake, because that money should have just been set aside for the people that are still out of work after that. Anyhow, back to my point, occupancy. What they're doing is they're saying you can only run 50% of occupancy. Well, like a gym can hold maybe 100 people. And so they're only limited to, say, 25% of their normal occupancy, of the occupancy of the building. So they can have 25 people at a time. That really doesn't hurt them that much. And the reason why is a lot of people only have 25% of the occupancy capacity anyways. So it's not a big deal. Now, a restaurant, rush time at lunch, that's a problem, because they're going to be at full occupancy if they fill every table. Like a lot of my restaurants do, they are packed. The bars are packed, happy hour. The restaurants are packed at lunch. That's just how it goes. In fact, I can tell you, my food trailer park, I did a Instagram earlier today at my food trailer park. They've been kicking ass. They've been doing great, because I've only been out to dinner twice in 2 months, and that was just in the last couple of days. The food parks have been awesome, because people walk up, hand them the food, and they go. So the food parks, actually, this has been a big boost, because their competition's been closed. Nobody can go in, sit down, and eat. If you're going to pick it up, it's pretty easy to just get it at a food trailer. And so that's been really good. My barbecue place, when I say mine, I mean my tenant. Barbecue place, Indian food, what else? Mediterranean. They've all been great. And we got some new ones coming in. Yeah, hey, UK investor, man, check out Monopoly. Monopoly, he's got a good channel. If you don't already know him, please look up. It's like Monopoly and property, Monopoly. Calling people fake because they do things. Well, that's why I put a question mark behind it, because it's a question. But there are a lot of fakes out there. There absolutely are. And, there are a lot of people that get swindled. And man, how did you do it live? Sure, we can do that. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you buying the book. But you should. Listen, it's smart to be skeptical. You got to be skeptical, and it's okay. It's okay. Some people are afraid to ask somebody a tough question, afraid they're going to hurt their feelings, even though they're making money off it. It's silly. It's silly. And and like I say, and Kevin, I appreciate you coming out. Kevin has a different mode of investing. That's fine. But there's no bad questions, You can ask me anything. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I expect, I get some harsh comments. I get some harsh questions. And I always say, I get some really harsh, comments. Sometimes it's because they're, people that are protective of the people that they like, other YouTubers. And that's okay. That's okay. I got pretty thick skin. Oh, okay, there's a fair question. Is Kevin ahead of me at age 30? Okay, so I was basically a millionaire by 28, probably millionaire at 30. It was a bad time, actually. 28 to 30 is when I was moving and looking at other properties. So I don't know, you'd have to do the math. But I don't know. I was worth about $1 million at that age. I don't know what Kevin's worth. But again, you know what I mean? You'd have to know that. I don't know what $1 million is today compared to then. But I can tell you, $1 million went a long ways. You'd have to find out what $1 million is worth today, as opposed to believe it or not, 1980. Okay, I'm 58, so 40 years ago. or well, I guess 30 years ago when I was 28. But, there's a joke. I was in Los Angeles, I don't know, probably a year or two ago. And I took a friend of mine to the Comedy Store. And this guy's on there and he's saying, man, life is great. I just got a sitcom deal. And, this is a comedian. And you sit around, you watch and drink and watch these guys do their comedy show. Actually, it was the comedy place in Manhattan Beach, Comedy Store. And the guy's going, yeah, things are great. I got, that. And he goes, and I got a baby coming. And he goes, and I finally got that $1 million home. Everything's great. He goes, but when I dreamed about that $1 million home, he goes, it wasn't a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, okay? Because that's what $1 million home in prime places in Los Angeles area are. They're a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. You'd be surprised. I got a sister just sold her house for $1.5 million in Venice. They paid $250,000 for it, sold it for $1.5 million. I mean, they held it for 17 years. But those lots are so small that when you park in front of the house, you can't move but a foot or two. Otherwise, you'd be blocking a driveway of either your neighbor or yourself. That's how tiny things are near the coast, along the beach. And I'm a big fan. I stay in Hermosa. I like Manhattan Beach. I tried, well, we called it Channel Islands, but really it was Oxnard. But too much June gloom, too much clouds there for me. I didn't care for it. The beaches are better for young people, for sure. Hermosa and Manhattan Beach is better. In fact, when I lived on the beach in Kevin's area, actually, I remember going out. I'm 28 years old. I'm like, all right, I got my beach house. And I go walking out on the beach, like on a Wednesday or something. And I was very disappointed. I should have done more. I should have done my math or my research a little bit. I walk out there and I look down the beach. And I'm looking down, I can't remember what the next city is, but looking down as far as I can see. These are beautiful, very, very deep sand beaches. And as far as I can see, there's nobody, okay? When you're 28 and single, that is not a good thing. And then I look the other way, and I see an old lady walking a poodle. And I'm thinking, what did I do? And that's why I flipped and rolled that property. I didn't want to keep it because that beach was not for me. But Pat Sajak lived there. They had a big soap opera called Santa Barbara. This is near Santa Barbara too. That was going at that time. And shoot, the only people I knew were the people that were paid to sweep the sand off the porch for the celebrities that had homes there. It was really kind of a lonely deal. It wasn't that great. I should have bought in Hermosa and Manhattan Beach then. I just didn't know. I didn't know the neighborhood as well. And I still go there now quite often. But now it's $8 million for what I could have paid $700,000 for. Okay, what else? Hey, please subscribe if you're just getting here, talking real estate. Got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. There's plenty of people here. You can look at the comments that got it, and they'll say nice things about it. Please like this video, folks. I hope you like what you hear. If you don't, give me a thumbs down and gripe about it. I'd like to know what I'm doing wrong. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, you know what? So I'm reading what Meredad just wrote. Oh, no, not sorry. I wasn't talking about you. Musa Real Estate Investing. So this is interesting. A friend of mine just sold a $6 million apartment building, and it was in the middle of this COVID stuff. He was already in escrow, then the COVID hit, and he was like, he was worried that it wasn't going to close. And the news hadn't really got, the reality hadn't set in about how bad it was yet, but he was worried. And I guess these guys pulled a fast one to get another $30,000 off last minute. And he just said, yeah, no problem. But he was a bit pissed. He was pissed. Sometimes it pisses you off. And when you got money, you'll just say, the hell with it. Screw it. But he didn't do that. He was smart. He's also the same guy that got sued for $7 million. But anyways, he let them have their $30,000 off and it closed. And he was so grateful. And for all I know, it might have been Grant Cardone that bought that place from him. But he told me the mistake he made. I'm going to have him on the show sometime. He actually lived in Santa Barbara, right on State Street. Kevin can tell you that's a prime street. Lived right on State Street, and he picked up and left and moved to another city. And I was like, why did you leave Santa Barbara? And I actually followed him to that city, and I made some money there too. Real good friend, real great guy. But this is what he did. This is real interesting. And this is recent. He came into a town and he saw, bam, new Jack in the Box and a new this and, all this new stuff, a new Kohl's, all these stores built up. And he got there and he's like, wow, this is, he thought this place is booming. And so he bought this apartment building, and after he bought it, he realized that all these new stores and stuff, they didn't put those stores there because the growth was there to support it. They built these stores anticipating growth that was to come. And he mistook their growth of these new stores being built as being a sign that this economy is booming and the area's great and it's fast. And he made a mistake. He said, Tom, he goes, I bought that place. He goes, I struggled like hell to get that thing full. And he did finally fill it up. And he sold it. He told me it was about 99, I can't remember, 90 or 95. It was in the 90s. 95% capacity. He sold it. And he's so thankful that he did, but he said it's down to 70% again. And this is only in a month, okay? This is only in a month. This is how long it's been since he's closed the deal. So this COVID, it's taken its toll. When you lose your job and you're a waiter and, you don't make a lot of money, or, you're in that class of people that aren't making a lot of money, whatever you do, you go get a roommate. You go back with your girlfriend if you're broke up. I mean, in the old days, people put a curtain down the middle of the living room because they had to live together. They didn't want to live together, but they lived together. But they had to share a place because they couldn't afford to do it otherwise. Okay, Brandon, I think you're late to the game here, but we're moved on to real estate for now. But I'm back to talking another subject. Musa, be honest, I am not that familiar with New York. Yeah, well, New York's interesting. I was speculating that Ben Mala made quite a bit of his money from Rudy Giuliani cleaning up New York, which may be true and may not be. I don't really know yet. But I can tell you, one of my companies, New York is a prime dealer. So I send guys to Manhattan, and I go there sometimes. And I went down to Manhattan and I went to the liquor store to get a bottle of whiskey or wine, I don't know. But I started talking with the gal that ran the liquor store there. And she told me, she said, we got talking about real estate, of course. That's what I always engage everybody with. And she said, I used to own this place. And she said, I sold this place. I can't remember what she sold it for. But she said, my rent was, I sold the place with the understanding I'm paying $8,000 a month rent. She said, that was 20 years ago. And she said, I wish I'd have kept it. She said, I'm paying $30,000 a month rent now. And this is for like a narrow, I don't think that place was, it couldn't have been 20 feet wide, 15 feet maybe wide. And it was fairly deep, but she's paying $30,000 a month rent. And I can tell you, one of my companies that I had, I paid for a shelf that was about 30 inches wide. They call it an end cap. It's at the end of like a grocery aisle, but this is camera equipment aisle. 30 inches by 10 inches, 3 shelves. I paid, I think, $1,800 a month for. Because in New York, the sidewalks, you have basically the equivalent of a city walking by your window every day, walking by that window. Because New York is like 20 big cities right there, all in one. It's so busy, so packed. And that kind of goes to the location thing that we've all heard our whole lives about real estate. It's true. Location matters. Density matters. It'll be interesting to see how things fall out with density on these deals too. So hey, if you just got here, please subscribe. And I got to see if my battery's starting to get low on this thing. I'm not even sure where I'm at. Yeah, I got a little time. All right, let's get to questions again. Okay, you're looking to do land deals where you buy the land under your building if you need cash. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But I can tell you right now, here, I gave this example the other day. I'll show you guys again right now. This is not the time to buy land. When you got a house, okay, and it's sitting on a lot, okay? So here's a lot. So say this lot's, let's just say this lot's worth $250,000, this lot. In this house, let's say this house is worth $250,000, okay? But the house on the lot together, the house is worth $500,000, okay? Well, when tough times happen, and now the lot or the house together is only worth $400,000, okay? Okay. So what happens is the house cost $250,000 to build, and now the price went down to buy, the whole house and land together for $400,000. Well, it all comes out of the land. So if you got a vacant lot next door that's $250,000 and a house that costs $250,000 to build, it's going to cost you $500,000 to build the house that you can buy for $400,000. So what that means is your lot just became worth $150,000. Okay, it all comes out of the land. When things go down, when things drop, your construction costs remain the same. Only the land. The land is what gets killed in these situations. And I flip land. I love land. I've been doing it a long time. But right now, you wait. You got to wait for the market to stabilize to know what the land's worth again. And then you can still buy under market, and that can happen. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm struggling here a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to help it. Basically, I'm just saying a house that's worth $500,000 and a lot that's worth $250,000. When the house goes down to $400,000, the lot is what took the hit. The lot under the property. Jed, get my book. There's more to it than that. That's too simple. You can waste your time on lowballing people too. You really gotta do your work. It's not hard. It's common sense. Believe me, most people don't have common sense, to be quite honest. And if you could, hopefully you can learn common sense if you don't have it. Yeah, John, I'm getting down to about 9% here on my phone, but the main thing is you got to do your work. You got to understand the market. I can tell you, I'll help friends that are moving to a new state buy a home. I'll fly out there. I'll study the area a little bit as how I can from a computer, and I'll go in there, and then I just really study the area, like what things have sold for, what things are worth, and then I'll make my approach onto what I think can be bought for cheap, and we make a deal. And when I have only that little time, they'll get a decent deal. Not as good a deal as if I'm sitting there working in an area, my own neighborhood or someone near where I live. I'm always going to get the best deal there because I have time and I have patience. But when I have to go into a city, from the cold and, I got a week to help a friend get something because they want to buy, they don't want to rent, they want to buy because they know they're going to live there a while. They don't want to get stuck in a lease for a year and then, while they're trying to buy. All right. Yeah, I could use a YouTube mentor. That's the truth, huh? Yeah, well, maybe me and Kevin will work a deal. Yeah, I don't even know what driving for dollars is. You guys got all this terminology. You guys talk about wholesaling. I call it getting a good deal, or I call it assignments. Flipping. We didn't even call it flipping when I was first starting. I just get a really good deal. It's just math. You're getting a good deal. You sell it for a good deal. You can get rid of it quick and make a profit. One of my mentors, and I'm not talking about somebody that taught me about real estate, but he's somebody I respected that had a lot of money. He was a fireman. What he did is he worked 3 days a week as a fireman, and he'd have a 40-hour income from those 3 days. Then the other 4 days, he poured concrete, but he bought real estate. He had a side job doing the concrete, and he believed in real estate. He didn't want to be poor. I don't remember his background when he was a kid, but probably like me, poor, and didn't want to be poor. And so he would sink his money in real estate, and, when I came along and met him, this is 30 years ago, he's probably worth 5-10 million then, which is a lot of money. He's probably worth 50 million now, or more. Another friend of mine died. They said he was worth a good 100 million, and that's a chunk. That's a good chunk, and it can happen. I don't know what the fallout from COVID. I can just tell you the one thing for sure is I don't know. People like to make bold predictions. I'm really kind of a wait and see guy. I don't want it, I don't want the tail wagging the dog, and that can happen when things get bad and you own a lot of property. I've been in that position. I've owned a lot of real estate and been highly leveraged and had things go to pot. Well, the good thing is I know how to hustle and I know how to make money, I'm multi-talented, was a builder and, a decent salesperson. I mean, I know how to make things happen. So I've always been able to pull it out, but I'm getting too old for that crap. So now, on my overall portfolio, I probably don't owe more than 25% of what I'm worth. Well, maybe with values dropping now, maybe it's 30%. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of vacancies right now. And I'm still comfortable. I can still drink good wine. I can still eat great food. And I still put kids through college. No big deal. And that's where I want you to be. I want you to be where I'm at. It's very, it's a wonderful lifestyle being an investor. You just got to make every penny count. You don't waste money. And you can't afford to waste money when you're young. That's your seed capital. That's the money that's going to get you rich. And, 10 grand, it's the worst thing in the world when I see somebody get 10 grand and they go buy a car. Or they just spend it all. And I was like, no, don't do that. That's your seed capital. Take that 10 and turn it into 20 in the next 3 months. And then turn that 20 into 40. And, and I can tell you, when the money's small, the smaller deals, you can make 100% on stuff. Turning things that are used. I'll tell you the secret, folks, right here. This is the number one lesson you should get out of today's deal. Buy things that are used. When you buy something used, all real estate is used, right? Everything's been owned by somebody else before. Used real estate, used cars, used anything, tripods, cameras, whatever, anything of value, diamond rings, used. Stuff that is used has the potential of being sold for pennies on the dollar what it's worth. That's the opportunity. You can buy stuff that's used for a fantastic deal. You can buy it for next to nothing because it's paid for. But if you buy something brand new, like a brand new home or a brand new car, there's a mortgage on it, right? There's a mortgage or there's money owed on it. That can't be sold for less because it's got a lien on it. But you buy something used that's very old, you can buy it for cheap. Or you can buy something that's paid off. It could be something fairly new. It could be a new car that somebody paid cash for. Husband's death. Here's another thing. I'll tell you right now. I bought a 550 SL Mercedes back in 2009, the last downturn we had. And the reason I bought it is I was reading an article and it said that the first thing to go down in value are sports cars. The sports car. And so I immediately said, hey, you know what? I want to get me something nice. And it was a downturn, but it wasn't that bad for me. And so I went and I got a 550 SL. I think it was a 95 or 94. I can't remember. Or no, maybe it was 2000. It's 2004 now I think about it. Anyways, I bought it for 30 or 33,000. I can't remember now. 33,000. And the guy that I bought it from paid 105,000 for it. And so I drove that car. It's only a 2-seater. No, it wasn't very practical. I drove it to Starbucks and back every morning, and that's about it. But if you got the extra money, and I wouldn't say spend this unless you're a little bit wealthy already. But if you're wealthy, it's a good time to get a sports car. That's all I'm saying. And I'm actually looking. I'm looking for a little like a Carrera. I used to have a Carrera a long time ago, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to give me another Porsche. I want to get a car. I have a fairly new Cayenne. I love power. I love speed. I love Porsche. But I'm going to be looking for a sports car. So if any of you guys are hurting, if you got a little Carrera, I'd be interested. Or a 911 something. Yeah, Panameras are a little big for me. We're getting off topic, but the Panameras are really, they're probably about like my Cayenne. They're a little bigger, heavier, haul ass. Gabriel, man, you just get my book. Get my book. Right. Well, hey, I think it's a good time to call it quits. If you just got here, welcome. Please subscribe. More content coming. We'll get into some great stuff. You can look at my old stuff. I've been doing videos 3 years, and I do everything. I pour concrete. I do all kinds of stuff that you probably don't want to do. But the main thing I know how to do is make money on real estate. And, that's what I was figuring out. I was talking about why is Ben Mala richer than I am. And I figured out part of that. One thing making a lot of money in real estate has allowed me to do, it's allowed me to pursue other interests. Not about money, trying to make money. I've gone into apps, I've gone into things and lost money on those things. But that was and I've done a lot of things that cost me money to do that was non-real estate. Real estate's what paid for my habits of trying these other different things. So that's the beauty of real estate. If you know how to make money with it, it can allow you to make mistakes in other places and carry you through them. So hey, Flip Anything USA, please share, subscribe, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It'll be the best 10, 20 bucks you ever spent. And that's it. You can put comments. Hey, I'm glad you liked the live stream. Yeah, let me know you guys had. Yeah, I appreciate you guys saying thanks. I'd like to know that you're having a good time and learning something. If there's something that didn't get covered, go to the comments under the regular video. If you just got here, just watch from the beginning. And it was gracious of Kevin to come on the show. I appreciate that. And let's all make some money this year. This is a great time. This is a great time to build your brain. Don't spend money right now. Just build your brain. Get some skills. I'm getting some computer skills, and slowly I'm getting some video skills here. But build your brain, and when things start coming back, just get in there and make some money. Make those real estate barbells. If you've been following me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Get the real estate barbell going. That's what you need, and we're just going to keep doing that. All right, thanks. Appreciate it. Take care, and see you next time.